Hi there and welcome to another workout where you've managed to carve out half hour of your day for a good old row. What we're going to do today is a 4-minute warm-up followed by a 20-minute workout and then a 2-minute cool down, and that's your half hour filled if you do a little bit of stretching at the end. So let's get our machine set up and get into that warm-up. Now, when it comes to resistance, I want you to set it to wherever you prefer it to be, but what I'd suggest is that you get it at a point where you feel your muscles are activating, but you don't have to heave against it like Popeye to get the thing moving. Next up, go to your foot stretcher height, and what I want you to do is set it at a point where you can come into the front of the machine with your shins pointing vertically comfortably, okay? Because if you're set too high, you can get a little bit stuck there, it all gets a bit bound up. If you're set too low, you can go scooting straight past that point, your backside escapes from underneath you and you get less of a workout, all right? A good ballpark here is that the strap covers the balls of your feet, which is the widest part of your foot and is often the bottom lace of your shoe, all right? Let's get into this 4-minute warm-up, low intensity, round about 20 strokes a minute, just to let our bodies get used to the fact we're rowing today. Cool. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So, as is my way recently, I've been sitting on my desk for around about the past 6 hours, hardly moving. So, I need to warm up along with you here before today's row. So a nice, gentle amount of power going in. All I'm thinking about is my body positions, which means arms straight. Woof. So you finish the stroke, arms straight, rock forwards over my hips so that I'm in a forwards tilt with straight arms as I roll into the front, and then push the legs, swing the back, pull the arms, and I'm in a backwards tilt over my hips at the back of the machine. And this pumping backwards and forwards, hinging over your hips, is kind of what feels most stiff, for me anyway. So this is what I need to ease up. And I can now push a little harder with my legs, take the intensity up so that my breathing rate starts to increase, my heart rate starts to increase, and it feels like exercise, but it's not hard work. I can still, well, obviously talk the whole time, but I could hold a conversation with somebody if there was anybody here. Kind of like the same intensity as if you were just walking up 5 or 6 flights of stairs, heart rate's up, breathing rate's up, 5 out of 10 effort. It's exercise, but you don't have to lie on the floor afterwards. And this is the intensity that we are going to hold for 20 minutes today. Don't worry, I'm going to make it interesting. One more stroke. Take one foot out, put it on the ground, continue rowing. This is a great way to help open up your hips, your hip flexors, get that compression into the front of the machine. Because what you're looking to do here is get that shin vertical. And with just the one leg strapped in, it's much easier to get into that vertical position. Let's take one more and swap feet. Almost forgot to unstrap my other one then. And continue with the other one. You might notice a slight pace difference between the two legs. Often if you're left or right dominant, that leg will push a little bit harder. It's interesting to note that, but don't worry about it. Doesn't make much of a difference in terms of your full rowing stroke. Let's take one more here. Put that foot back in, pick your straps up, legs straight, and row with your back and arms. So that means swing back with your back first, and then pull in your arms. So really activate that connection with your back first. You should feel your lats engage as you do so. And then arms away and rock forwards. Let's take 2 more of these. One more. Let's go to the front, arms straight, forwards tilt, and just push with your legs. I don't need you to worry about power here, okay? What I want you to do is get the timing right of pushing your feet as your hands connect the handle to the machine. So at that point when it bites, I want you to push and the handle bites at the same time while holding the forwards tilt and keeping your arms straight. One more here. And if ever you're kind of wanting to work on technique, those last two drills there are the perfect thing to do. Anyway, have a quick drink, have a wiggle of your backside to get comfortable, and we'll get started with our main workout today. Okay then, so today's row is going to be rowing 20 strokes a minute at that low intensity, like climbing upstairs for 20 minutes. Now I'm going to talk to you about why we're doing that during the main row and really start to talk about the reason for change. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story because hopefully that'll help you see within you reasons that maybe you are here for change. All right, so less talking, more rowing. Let's get into our main workout in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So, 20 strokes a minute, back at that 1 stroke every 3 seconds. Follow me for stroke rate. And I want you just to really try and find your intensity here. The one that you know you're exercising, but it's not so hard that you have to stop after 5 minutes, but at the same time, it's hard enough that over the course of a 20-minute workout, you know you've had a good workout. I was searching for a better word than workout there, and there wasn't one. Oh. Anyway, the reason we're doing this, and the reason we're doing this now, are kind of two different things. The reason behind this is that these low intensity, slow stroke rate workouts are incredibly good for you. But you need to be able to do them with an okay technique. Now I'm not going to go into full technique for the next 10 minutes, don't worry, but what you need to be doing is connecting your feet to your hands with a braced core and pushing that power into the machine with your legs first, then swinging your back, and then pulling your arms at the back of the stroke, okay? When you do that, that is how you activate 85% of the muscles in your body. The only muscles really that you're not using when you're rowing are your pectorals and rotational muscles. Maybe 1 or 2 in your legs, especially if you're not pulling yourself forward by tugging on the foot straps. Your shin muscles don't really get used. But that's a good thing, don't worry. You're not meant to tug yourself forwards with the foot straps. You're meant to use your body's momentum. Handle away, rock forwards, bend knees. Because once your handle is away and you're rocking forwards, your body's momentum is already aiming towards the front of the machine. So all you have to do is bend your knees. You don't have to pull on the foot straps at all. But sidetracked. So the reason I'm doing this workout now, this is the 7th workout in the series. I suppose you could be doing these in any order. But I wanted to make sure that you already have a technique which will make use of this workout. Because when you row this with a good technique and you use round about 85% of the muscles in your body, that is how it becomes beneficial. That is how this kind of zone 2 heart rate, low intensity, will help to build the quality of your blood's ability to use oxygen. Got little power cells in your, or power cells in your cells really, called mitochondria. And when you do these slow rows, while still at a point of exertion, okay, this isn't easy, but it's also not hard. Heart rate's up, breathing rate's up, but you can still talk. When you're rowing at this intensity, your mitochondria, it's like you're feeding them fertilizer. I'm not talking fertilizer. Don't be so rude. But they grow, they build, you've got more of them. So if you think of your cells in your body like a lifeboat, and right now each of your cells has space for 10 passengers. And so, say you've got, obviously my numbers are wrong here, by quite a lot, but say you have 100 blood cells in your body. I mean, you're in quite a bad way. Or 100 cells, sorry, not blood cells. 100 cells in your body. Each of them can carry 10 lifeboat passengers. Stick with me here, okay? That means that you're able to use or save, whatever phrase we're going to try and run with in this poorly thought out analogy, 1,000 of them, say, per stroke, okay? Let's give it some kind of quantification in here. So you have 1,000 little lifeboat passengers that are helping you row per stroke. We should start again, but no. When you do a low intensity, but still working, remember, 5 out of 10 effort, it shouldn't be easy, I'll keep saying that. When you do one of them, what it does is it creates more passengers, and bizarrely more room for those passengers in your boats. But go with me here. So, after a workout like this, maybe your little lifeboats now have 15 passengers each inside them. Meaning, you now have 1,500 of these little power cells, mitochondria, per stroke, right? So, if we leave the analogy behind and just think of it, let's say you have 15 billion mitochondria available. You've possibly got quintillions. I don't know the actual number. When you do a workout like this, you will add billions upon billions because your blood or your cells, because they have more of these mitochondria, become more efficient, and then they make your body more efficient. They make the ability of your blood to circulate power basically into your cells much more efficient. So you basically get fitter. That's a long way of saying long, slow rows like this are what you need if you want to get fitter. If you want to get stronger and faster, that's when you start doing fast interval workouts and less of this stuff. So what you'll notice is that lots of my workouts mix up all three elements. You might have 4 minutes at these low intensities, followed by 3 and 2 minutes at the kind of tempo, tough intensity, which will help you when it comes to getting faster. And then there's the sprints, which will help you get stronger. But sometimes you just need to lock in the low, slow stuff. And if you are about change right now, if you are trying to get fitter, you are realizing that this is a line in the sand where you need to put in some effort if you want to see change, then everything starts with a workout like this. This gives you the fitness and the capacity to do the faster stuff so you can get stronger. It's like the foundations to a house. This kind of row is building the strong foundations so that you can have your amazing cinema room. You can have your games room, your 4 bedrooms with walk-in closets and a TV in every room. If you didn't have that strong foundation, then all of that would just fall around your ears. And this is something that I constantly come back to in my journey over and over again with fitness, because I've been up and down through the years. I first discovered sport as a squash player back when I was 17, I think, 16, 17. And I really threw myself into it. But I'd always make it like 2 games into a match really well, chasing the ball and fighting hard. But by the time it came to the 3rd game, I was exhausted. And that's because all I was ever doing was playing matches and working at that flat out intensity that you get when you play squash. So I quickly realized that I needed to do something about my foundation fitness. And once I was able to last on court for a lot longer, I started to win, beat people that were struggling against me for the first 2 games, but then walked all over me when I got tired. Now, I was able to see the game out. But then, after about 10 years, I hurt my shoulder, stopped playing squash. But I still ate like a squash player, even though I completely stopped exercising. No squash, no going out for runs or long bike rides. I just stopped, but still consumed the same amount of calories as I did when I was playing squash. So within, I don't know, about 3 years maybe, I'd gone from a skinny 27-ish, 28-year-old with a six-pack, and I was kind of wiry, but wasn't a pick on me. And within 3 years, I'd gone from 170 pounds, kind of 77 kilograms, closer to 230 pounds, kind of mid-90s, I think, kilograms. And then realized one day, very soon after I proposed to my now wife, realized, hang on, I'm getting quite big. I needed to change. And that started in the kitchen. So I stopped drinking alcohol, and my lunch at the time every day was 4 slices of white bread and a whole chunk of cheese. So I stopped that. Went down to chicken and like salad or pasta or just something a bit more nutritionally helpful, but also looked at how much I was eating, portion control. Started cycling, didn't really do any running or weights or anything. And within like a year or so, I was already down at 85 kilograms, 200 pounds. And then it was just a case of persevering, making sure to make sensible choices. I'd slip from time to time, but I knew I was wanting a change, and I had my goal. I knew I wanted to get back to at least, or at most, 80 kilograms. After all, I had a wedding coming up. So started to add a little bit of resistance training, lifting weights, go for the odd run, but still mostly cycling and diet. And then over the years, various things have come and gone. I threw myself into cycling for a good few years, out on the road in Lycra, shouting at cars. And then the kids came along, and I realized it's probably better that I was home looking after them and not lying in a ditch somewhere because I'd come off my bike. And that, just over 10 years ago, is when I really threw myself into indoor rowing. I was doing it as training for that initial weight loss, but really threw myself into it. And that got me into like peak physical condition until 2018, when I had an accident with a knife, cut my hand, couldn't train, started to balloon up again. And so again, noticed the need for change, set myself a goal, healthy eating, more cardio again, resistance training, lifting weights, got back to where I should be. And to be honest, it's been a roller coaster since then. COVID didn't help. Eating loads because I could. I was a bit self-destructive at the time, just mentally. And then Christmas, which we've just come out of, I have managed to put on 6 pounds over Christmas. And I guarantee you, not 1 gram of that is muscle. So I'm back at it, and I give myself a target to lose at least 4 of them by 3 weeks' time. It's only £1 and a bit. So find a target, work out what you want to do, be sensible, know how to do it, and give yourself some time for change. See what I did there? So we'll just go into a 2-minute cool down just to kind of ease off, and then we're done for the day, okay? So let's get started. Just some easy rowing. You can ease off from the pace you were just rowing at. Just go back to that, almost like how we started the warm-up, where it's just about connecting, making sure that your muscles are activating, that they fire as you connect feet to hands. Remember, that's the vital part of the rowing stroke, is pushing as you feel your hands connect. And then keeping your arms straight at the front as you push. See, I can't leave technique alone, can I? I did talk a little bit about technique in the main row, but I'm really hoping that spending the second 10 minutes going through my story has hopefully helped you look inward for the things that you need to do to change. So that's the question. How are you going to address what you want to do? Think about why you want to do it as well. Set yourself a goal. Go for a long-term goal, like a year maybe. Say you want to be like me and lose like 60 pounds. That's a long-term goal. But your short-term goal is to lose like £1 a week. And don't worry too much about the actual scales when it comes to that though. Or don't be worried if you have one bad weigh-in, is what I'm saying, because water weight can add on like £1 easily. Anyway, right, there we go. So that was just a reason behind this whole time for change, is making you hopefully think about really what it is you need to do. That I'm here for you, the workouts are here for you, but what else is there around you? How are you going to look at your life and say, I want to change, what do I need to do, okay? Hopefully this helped. Remember, got loads of other workouts up here for you to do. Some of them I talk like this, some of them are just technique, so it's a lottery. Just put some music on. Just watch me going up and down, follow me, row along with me, and all is good. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll hopefully see you in another of my videos. Until then, row well, be well. Bye-bye.